good day. How's it going? One thing that I keep coming across is how do you stay positive? How do you stay joyful, grateful? How do you stay, in other words, in the flow? How do you sustain that flow? Well, this is what the video is about. Why is it? First of all, let's look at the why. Why is it so important to stay within the flow? If you're a beginner, that's a beginner question. If you've been doing this for a long time, you know that is such an important aspect of living the life that we have chosen, and that life of being positive, of the pursuit of happiness, so to speak, and understanding and developing the mindset and mastery of the faculties of our conscious and subconscious mind. So so if you're new at this, I can tell you that the reason why you want to stay in the flow is because that's where the magic is at. That's where you just fully are submersed with source. You're totally submersed with source, and that's where you manifest or allow all of your desires and wants to come into play. That's where the power truly is. When you stay within the source, or the flow, I should say, when you stay within the flow, you're allowing life to unfold. It's like a big surprise every single moment. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we want to. That's where we want to be. When you're in the flow, there's no resistance. When you're in the flow, life seems to just make sense. Everything just comes together for us. When you're out of the flow, life seems complicated, seems difficult, seems hard, seems lonely, seems unfair, seems always to be testing you. When you're in the flow, that doesn't seem to make any difference to you, because it's like you just know that, yeah, you're going through these ups and downs, yeah, you're experiencing things like everyone else, but every time you're making a choice, you're doing it with no control of any of it. You're just being in the moment, letting it happen, knowing that thing is going to work out right, because that's what you're choosing. You're constantly practicing and applying the power of a choice, which aligns you with your desire, and your actions align with the desire. Your internal, external actions align, and you're in the flow, and it feels good. And when you're in the flow, you have an advantage. It's like being at the highest peak in the world, and you can see and watch everything as it unfolds. Every action, every decision, every choice you make just seems to unfold before you, and it's like you have an advantage of knowing and seeing, feeling how things are going to unfold. And that's an amazing experience. And so that is why being in the flow is so important. Now, when you're not in the flow, like I stated before, when you're not in the flow, you're more in the physical mindset, the human mindset. You question things, you judge things, you complain. You want something, and then when you get it, you're not satisfied about it. You want what the other person has. You're envy, you stress, you worry, question where you're gonna be tomorrow, a year from now. So these are just some of examples of so many endless other examples, which I don't have to mention. You guys get the idea of being outside of the flow. In short, being outside of the flow leads to you not manifesting your desires. Now, if you heard what I just said, I said you not manifesting your desires when you're not in the flow. I did not say that you're not manifesting at all. You're manifesting. You're just manifesting the opposite of your desires. So remember, when you're not in the flow, you're manifesting because the laws are constantly in effect. When you're not in the flow, you're manifesting, but you're manifesting your fears, your doubts, your worries. When you're in the flow, you're manifesting your desires, your hopes, your dreams. And that's, again, a very important reason why you want to practice continuously and constantly being in the flow. How does it feel to be in the flow? That's something you want to be able to constantly ask yourself, especially when you're happy, when things are going great, when things are just seems perfect. Everything that you ever hope for just unfolds mysteriously. It's good to feel to feel and experience the joy in the moment of those gifts that you receive, but try to remember how it feels to have everything just flow to you. What is that feeling? What is that sense that you're sensing within your every fiber of your being? Memorize that so that you can always know how it feels to be in the flow, so that when you're not in the flow, you can tell the difference and you can right away adjust your emotions, your mindset to flow back within the flow. Okay? And that's something that we all need to do. The flow does more. I normally don't like to get into this area, but for this recording, I'm going to get into this, and maybe for future recordings. I've been thinking about it, and what I'm talking about here is I know a lot about. I've been blessed with a lot of knowledge when it comes to the spiritual aspects of things. I try not to get into it too much. Again, if there's any recommendations or suggestions that you would like me to cover in any of my videos, please subscribe and leave a comment, shoot me out an email, and I'll be more than happy to make those videos. Why do I say that the flow can lead to more? The flow is such a powerful thing. When you're in the flow, if you know what you're doing, and this is more like high-end stuff, but when you're in the flow, if you know what you're doing, you can actually have visions of the future. You can have visions of whatever. You can tap into it. You can understand and see things. When you're in the flow, you can utilize that power to accelerate your manifestation. When you're really in the flow and you really understand this information, and I'm not going to get into it because the exact details, you can almost like, some people call it teleport, some people call it time warp, but it's basically like you can elevate your vibration. What happens is that you elevate your vibration so quickly that you can connect and phase into that to a reality that you so desire so quickly that when you do, you lock in so fast, and you can go from it's something that would take a normal person who doesn't understand this information would take them a long time. But someone that does can phase in instantly to that reality that you choose. You see, here's something Source conveyed to me at one time about reality, and this is just some more information for you guys to see how powerful being in the flow is. When monks are meditating, most people who have no idea what's happening, and I'm not talking about a normal meditation, I'm talking about the really high-end meditation. When the really high-level monks are meditating, the ones who are decided to go up into places like Nepal and meditate out there, a normal person will look at them and says, man, these poor guys, they're not really living a life. They're separate from, they separated themselves from the world, and they're just experiencing this poverty. They're experiencing this loneliness and the separation from society and from life and from the different sensations that we love and we enjoy, such as sex and cotton candies and a good movie, right? Or the touch and feel of someone you love. And we think, well, it's kind of sad that they, separate themselves from these things. But the truth of the matter is, they learn something. Now, I'm not saying every single monk. No, this is not for the normal Joe Schmo. I'm talking about the ones that understand the flow. See, the flow is very similar to time, past, future, present, which is actually linear, which is actually doesn't really exist. So when they go into the meditation, if they choose to experience another lifetime while their physical self is in the current state of sitting there in that meditation, while they're there and they're experiencing, you see them externally, but what they're actually experiencing, if they choose, is a different reality. They're experiencing, maybe they took their conscious and they went to another dimension or another time. That is all possible. And if it's another reality where maybe they want to experience how it feels to be a woman. Maybe they want to experience how it feels to be a child, or maybe they want to feel how it feels to experience to be a horse. I know this sounds crazy, it sounds funny, but this is nothing new. A lot of us have known about this. A lot of us know this exists, and so they're able, through the connection, vibrational frequency of a particular person or time, they can tap into that, and they can kind of like glance through time and space when they're in the meditation. And they can see the different experiences. Oh, look at this person, an experience. And then they can go to that point in time, phase into that individual, and then they can experience that experience. Bring that knowledge back. And so they elevate themselves without even to a higher level and higher level of understanding. So they're experiencing multiple realities at once. Whereas most of us were phasing in and out. We're not really locking into that one reality, to multiple realities. We're just feeling one or two realities. Some of us that happens by accident. Some of us just experience the one reality that you're experiencing now, the one that you're hearing me speak on this recording. But the ones that can experience, that knows what I'm talking about, these monks, these individuals, not all of them are monks, they can phase in and out. It's like tapping into a frequency. Tap into that frequency. They pick you back onto it. They experience that reality. And that's what really happens when you're manifesting. You're not creating a new you or new reality. That reality is in coexistence with the recurrent reality that you're living now. By learning to, so to speak, surf the flow or source, connect to it, you can choose which reality you want to be in. So if you're right now, there are stories we hear all the time. You can research this yourself, where people, and you hear this a lot, where people are absolutely, totally poor or broke or sick, about to die, and they make a decision that they choose to live or choose to change their reality. One goes from being poor, from being in poverty to being rich overnight. Anthony Robbins was great story. Anthony Robbins, for those of you who don't know, was working at the high school, cleaning, listening to these motivational tapes. But what he was, he was a janitor. But what he was doing that time, most people be like he wasn't doing anything. No, he was elevating his consciousness. he was forming and changing a new paradigm. And once that new paradigm took place, it forced him to take actions, because it knew and it believed that the reality that he was experiencing outside of himself was not the true reality, because in his conscious or subconscious mind, they chose that was not his reality. So it brought circumstances and situations to meet that. And then 6 years later, just 6 years later, he's flying back on a helicopter to give a speech to around 2,000 people at the same high school. And get this, he's flying the helicopter. And while he's on stage, the girl that works for him says to him, "You're worth $400 million now in the stock market." Now here, watch how amazing a person who understands the vibration of things, or the flow of things. He wasn't stuck on, I'm rich now. He was thinking in his mind, how wonderful I am on this stage. But not only am I on the stage, but the information that I actually have can really help the people, really help these people that are here. That was more important to him than anything. It was serving. That was the highest vibration that was flowing through him. You see, when you understand the flow, and you understand that when you connect to the flow, you're just connecting. Some little girl in the past is just is you, because the law of oneness states that we are all one. That's why I tell you guys in a lot of my teachings, don't judge other people. Don't worry about other people, because those people are you experiencing life from a different point of view, from a different perspective. For you to judge them, you go back in the awakening, back from receiving clarity of who and what you are. You want to remove those things. Why do you think the monks go away from people? Because they sacrifice that solitude so that they can reach enlightenment faster. Once they learn how to once they learn how to connect to experience multiple realities at one time, they can literally split their conscious and live multiple realities, because we are the universe. The universe is experiencing life through us and us through it. Okay? And so again, this is just a huge part of what we can do when we truly understand the law of flow and how to connect to the law of flow. It's not just like connecting to this stuff. When you really master it, it's not just about, I learned how to be spiritual, or I learned how to achieve one great thing, or how to run how to build a business empire. No. It's about learning to realize and understand how great and how amazing the universe is, because we are it and it is us. I am that I am. You understand? As always, make sure you subscribe if I can continue these great videos. Show your support. I'll keep coming up with these videos free of charge. It's not about the money, it's about the love. And all else shall follow, right? But make some comments. Give me, ask me some questions. Let me help you. Until next time, as always, is Ray. Love and peace.